Right, today I'm brewing up a clone beer. This is a recipe kit from the Worcester Hop Shop. And this is a clone beer for the Hobgoblin Gold beer, which is actually one of my favourite beers out of a bottle or a can. It's a really nice British golden ale brewed by the Hobgoblin Brewery in Whitney in Oxfordshire. Sadly, I think it's closing down and moving. It's been bought out by maybe Carlsberg or one of the big breweries, so probably never be the same again. But it's a very light coloured, reasonably hoppy British golden ale. So it's not like a hop bomb or anything like that. It's got a nice citrusy hop flavour and a nice kind of biscuity malt flavour coming from it as well. So it's a really lovely beer to drink all year round. So that's what I'm brewing. This is a 23 litre kit. Absolute bargain, £20 for the whole kit. Very impressed with how it's all arrived. So obviously there's a massive bag of grain here, 4.085 grams of Marisotta, and there's also 227 grams of torrefied wheat that goes with that. So that's the fermentables. You get all the hops weighed out in little packages, which is very convenient. So I think there's 7 grams each of Summit and Pilgrim at the start. So this is kind of a mix of British, American and New Zealand hops. So you've got Summit and Pilgrim at the start, and then there's 2 further editions of Nelson and Citra, one at 5 minutes to go and one as a hop stand. So there's 14 grams of each of those in two steps. So yeah, you get all the hop additions weighed out nicely. So you haven't got to worry about that, you just bung them in. You also get a Protafloc tablet as well in the kit, and you get a packet of yeast. So this is SO4, this looks like a kind of repackaged SO4 yeast, 12 grams, so decent amount of good yeast as well. So you get everything you need. You get some instructions in the pack as well that take you through that. So this recipe is actually published on their website, so I'm assuming it's okay to kind of share it, but rather than kind of put it in my comments, what I might do is just put a link into their website. So if you did want to have a look at the recipe or you did want to buy the kit, then you can do so. So very reasonable, reasonably priced kits on there. I've got nothing to do with them. I'm not affiliated with them at all. This is actually the first time I've ever used them. So seen a few people online use them and recommend them. So thought I'd give them a go. So yeah, Summit and Pilgrim at the start, Citra and Nelson last 5 minutes, Citra and Nelson as a hop stand. I'm going to mash at 60, oh, I was going to do 65, but actually it says 67 on here, I just noticed. So I'm going to mash at 67 degrees for an hour. This is supposed to give me 4.6%, but I suspect I'm going to get slightly less than that because the efficiency of my brew in a bag is not that great. ABV 4.6, IBU 39.8, SRM 4.7. Yeah, so it says here, recipe pack containing all new ingredients to make a clone, all grain version of Hobgoblin Gold, a British golden ale that was requested by a customer in its 23 litre version. So yeah, all good. So hopefully it's going to be a fairly straightforward brew day. Get this mashed, 67 degrees for an hour. I'll probably mash out as well for 10 minutes at 75, just to make sure I'm going to get the most of these. Yeah, and then an hour boil those hops. So hopefully it turns out all right. So I'll show you a little bit of footage on the way, and I'll see you at the end for the tasting. Cheers, guys. Right, I'm mashed in. All my grains are added to my liquor. This was all treated, by the way, so I'm starting off with reverse osmosis water, or spotless water. So I'm using a pale ale water profile. So I've obviously adjusted my water according to that in Brewfather. And yep, so that's all good. I'm going to now leave this for an hour, let it mash, and come back to it then. Right, in with my first hop addition, 7.5 grams of Summit, 7.5 grams of Pilgrim. So these are going to be in for 60 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 45, so that's when I'm going to put me in my wort chiller. And yeah, so here we go. Okay, so I'm just coming up for 5 minutes left in the boil. Got my chiller in there, sanitising. There's the beeper. Protoflop tablet went in about 5-10 minutes ago, so I'm just going in with my 5-minute addition now, which is 14 grams of Citra, 14 grams of Nelson. So that's going to go in there. Right, here we go, back for the testing. So this has actually been in the bottle for around about 4 weeks now. The rest of it went into a corny keg, and there was just enough left over to fill 2 bottles. So these 2 are actually bottle conditioned, or I've got one other left, but so this is bottle conditioned. It's been in there about 4 weeks. And this is the real McCoy, the Hobgoblin Gold. So if you're not familiar with this, Wychwood Brewery is quite a well-known brewery here in the UK. Hobgoblin is probably the most well-known beer from Wychwood, the original Hobgoblin, which is a kind of more tawny sort of ale, if you like. This is the gold version of it. Description on the back says, solid gold legend. The combination of 4 hop varieties infused with malted barley and a touch of wheat give this easy drinking golden beer tropical aromas of citrus and passion fruit. A biscuit-like malt gives way to heaps of fresh lemon and lime zest. A hop kick riot of rascally refreshment. I like that. So, as I said before, it's one of my sort of go-to beers. Out of the bottle and out of the can. Not many beers I think that sort of transfer well into sort of, you know, mass-produced cans, but this is actually not too bad. So that's why I thought I'd give it a go. So mine is a all-grain recipe version, as I've explained. Got it from the Worcester Hop Shop as a kit, and yeah, I've been drinking it from the keg, and it's been pretty damn nice, I have to say. So one little side note is that when it was fermenting, there was quite a strong sulphury note coming from the fermenter, and that was also evident in the keg, but I managed to kind of purge it out of the keg. So over a few days I just kind of, you know, purged the gas, put a bit more gas in it, purged it, and it sort of disappeared after a few days. Now, I don't know if that is kind of going to have the same issue in the bottle, but we will find out. So let's open my one first. It doesn't smell sulphury, so that's a good sign. Actually smells really nice. I can smell it from here. Definite passion fruit, zesty kind of aroma coming from it. And that, if I might say so myself, is a damn fine looking beer. Very nice and golden, very light golden colour I should say. Nice head on the top, nice bit of carbonation, as you'd expect from it being bottle conditioned. Right, let's have a look at the original. Whoa, lively. Didn't expect that. Okay, so I can see straight away that this one is slightly darker. Ever so slightly darker. So there's a bit more malt coming from this one. Okay, so there's a noticeable difference right from the start. My version is a lot hoppier. I can really smell the sort of passion fruit, peachy, zesty aromas coming from those hops. Not so much on this one. The original actually, hardly any hop aroma, which is strange because I've had this out of a bottle in the can before and it's been a lot more noticeable. These have come from exactly the same place, they've been stored at exactly the same temperature, so you can see that there is a slight difference in colour. Hopefully the original one being just a tad darker, I'd say. Carbonation wise, I'd say pretty much spot on. They're both quite low carbonation. But yeah, so they're both a light golden colour, I should say. Head's going on mine a little bit, but yeah, not too worried about that. Okay, so aroma wise, mine is definitely winning on that. Whether that's a good thing or not, but the hops are definitely a lot more prominent on this one. And it's definitely more kind of malty aroma coming from this one. So let's try my one first. Really nice. It's a real nice peachy passion fruit flavour as well as aroma. Really nice sweetness from the malt. Got that sort of biscuity malt flavour as well coming through. Very, very nice. That's also very nice. Again, hop's not so prominent. I'd say this one is probably a little bit more bitter. Bitterness is a little bit more, not far off, but it is a little bit more bitter than my one. So, but that could be anything to do, you know, my brewing process. I can't remember if I dialed it down a bit now. But yeah, is a touch more bitter, this one. Actually feels like this one's got a bit more body than my one. I don't know. Yeah, mine feels maybe has less body to it, but I'm not sure, again, that that's particularly a bad thing. If I was to choose between the two, I'd actually probably go with mine, because this is what I kind of prefer. That's the style I like. I like light, hoppy beers, but it's still, Gold is still a very nice commercial beer, and I'd recommend you go and try one out. And if you're lucky enough to see it on draft as well, on from cask, it's really, really good. But I'm very happy with that, and I would definitely brew that again. It was a bargain. It was, I think, £20 from the Worcester Hop Shop, everything included, hops, yeast, you know, all the full shebang, and 20 quid for 23 litres. So yeah, very, very pleased with that. And as I say, I would definitely do it again. So yeah, cheers guys.